What are you looking out of your offense as they're split up amongst two and into two or whatever? What are you looking for your groups on Saturday?
I mean, not to be boring and traditional with this, but I mean, just clean football, taking care of the football. We're not going to do anything or show anything really crazy, so there shouldn't be any shifts or motions that screw anybody up. So just get lined up, get the ball snapped, get it where it needs to go, catch it, have good ball security, and just play clean football. I mean, it's going to be a little weird because it's not split up with ones and twos. It's split up in two different teams. So, Coach Beamer did a nice job. Me and Coach White were fighting back and forth with Coach Beamer to try to get this guy and that guy. And Coach Beamer said, I'm the commissioner. And not me, but he is the commissioner. And so we got two of the, most balanced that we could possibly come up with teams. So it's going to be, Spencer, these guys throwing to some guys that maybe they haven't been throwing to thus far. So it'll be good to see some guys change it up a little bit.
Marcus, obviously it's a little bit more than a scrimmage with all the lights and the fans and everything like that. But I guess just how much for you guys as coaches can you draw from a spring game? I mean, is it beyond just, guys lining up and hitting each other a little bit?
I think, like you said, nice hat, by the way. I think the lights, the crowd, the energy in the building, I mean, their bodies are going to be a little bit more tense, and they're going to feel a different way. So as a quarterback, like when you feel that tension, that different tension, are you able to still be accurate with the football? And is your brain still stimulated? Is it still, reacting the way it should? And is the ball going where it should? So I think you can gather a lot of information just in that environment. So I'm excited to see how they respond to it.
Yeah, Marcus, asking Shane the other day about it in terms of how much stock you actually put into the spring game in comparison to the other 14 practices that you guys have. From an offensive standpoint, for you personally, how much stock do you put into a game like this, especially knowing that there is going to be probably a good-sized crowd and it'll be under the lights too?
I mean, I want to go out there and be clean and, move the ball up and down the field. But, again, you understand that you have different combinations and different people playing with each other. You try to make it as fair as possible. We're not going to show a lot. So, again, I'm trying not to be – your hat's nice too. I just noticed everybody has nice hats in here. You don't have a nice hat, but still, I like your sunglasses. Those are good. But, I put a lot of stock in it. We're going to go out there and try to move the ball. I'd love for, I want to come out of this thing with the quarterbacks feeling good where we are offensively and feeling good about our skill guys and feeling good about our passing game and our pass protection. So even though it might be a little bland, we're still going to have to throw and catch and block and protect and line up. So I take a lot of stock in this.
Kind of to that, I guess, just how valuable is it for guys like, Colton and Braden and I guess Luke on some level too, just to be able to get in front of, a bigger crowd and get to play under that and, when maybe they might not get that opportunity during the actual season?
It's huge. Again, just to see how they're going to react. Are they going to start doing things differently because there's a crowd out there? Are they going to be able to be, not mature, but they're going to be able to be disciplined enough to just do their job and like they've been doing the first couple of weeks here of spring ball? Are they going to be able to just react and do what they're supposed to do and play the play, or are they going to try to make a play and do something boneheaded? So that's what we're looking for from them, but it will be good for them.
Marcus, now that you guys have had a couple of months with this full stable of running backs, I guess just describe just the evolution that you've seen just through spring ball so far, and what are you putting on their shoulders during the spring game on Saturday night that you'd really like to encourage and see them just in terms of performance?
I think from an evolution standpoint, I think the addition of we call him CBS. Hopefully everybody knows what I'm talking about. Christian Bill Smith. The addition of him, an older guy in the room, has been really good. Marshawn keeps getting better and keeps just trusting, coming off that injury last year and not having the year that he wanted last year, but having a great off season. That's just kind of fed into spring ball. He made some good plays in the last scrimmage out on the perimeter to Amos. And then Juju coming on. Juju gives us a little spark, a much needed spark out of the backfield. He can't carry it 20 times a game for a whole season, but we can get him in certain situations and get the ball to him on the perimeter. He's been doing some other things outside as well. I think just again, we got to keep fighting and pushing to try to find that guy that's going to carry the ball 15 to 20 times a game. But I do like just the evolution of where they've come, where they started and where they are now. I think that they have a good mixture of being able to catch the ball, run the ball with power, get the ball on the perimeter with Juju and Marshawn. So the burden for them, not burden, but what we're looking for them in a spring game is good for running backs is you're not trying to be there for 4 hours and throw the ball every snap. So you're trying to, run the ball, keep the clock going, develop some toughness in the trenches and in the run game. So they're going to have ample opportunity to show what they can do on Saturday night.
Going back and just evaluating how Spencer's kind of come along in comparison to day one, what are some of the things that you feel like he's really been able to grow on, especially through those first 14 practices?
Really, I had no idea what to expect when he got here. So maybe he's done this his whole life. But he is an unbelievable note taker, and I'm going to get to your question here. Like just noticing just in the last couple of days, he is an elite note taker. And we talk about Coach Rule used to say it all the time, like every revolution was started with a pen and the importance of taking notes. And he's really good at that. And he's, you tell him something one time and he's going to write it down and he's going to go back and he's going to reorganize it and he's going to learn it. And you don't have to tell him many things more than once. Saying that because, we're in a third down period today. It's in helmets, but still it's third down competing. The defense gave us a certain look that I think we talked about it maybe 2 weeks ago. Hey, you could get to this if you see that. And usually it's something that I would do. We would go to the line of scrimmage and kind of, do the whole traditional look to the sideline. He saw it. It's the first time we'd seen it since we'd talked about it. He checked to it, and it became a successful play. And just little things like that he's getting to a point in his development where he doesn't have to have someone telling him every single check to make. And that was, one of the huge, emphasis going into the season or going to the summer is just, transitioning him into a pro-style type offense. And for him to do that today, and he was so fired up, to see it and get it executed was really, really cool. But I think he just keeps getting better. And I think just his personality and his competitiveness rubs off on our offense. If, obviously y'all were at the 2-point period the other day. That was a debacle. But, that just absolutely – lit a fire under him, and the rest of practice was he was not going to let our guys mope around and waste a day. He brought us back, and we finished the practice really well, and a lot because of just his fiery competitiveness, and I think he gives our guys some confidence to go out there and succeed. So really, really pleased with him. We got a long way to go, but just really pleased with where he is right now.
Marcus, you mentioned the running backs. I know Rashad said that he's kind of playing a little bit of H-back. He's playing some fullback. And I guess just for a guy like that, when you do have a running back room as deep as it is, I guess just what's that been like kind of being able to find some positions like that to get him on the field? And I guess same kind of thing with Juju as well. Just put those guys in positions to maybe get some touches or get on the field and use what they can do. Yeah,
just trying to maximize our guys. We've had some tight ends that are banged up right now with Jaheim. And a lot like the 49ers did with Debo and their running backs is – you can play running back, you can play H-back, you can run the ball, catch the ball, you can go be the second puller on a counter play, things of that nature. So I think that those bigger backs like Amos and Twitty, those guys can do a lot of different things at that H-back position. And, Jaheim, when he comes back, can run the ball, catch the ball, all that stuff. So we're trying to make our running backs and, we call them wide backs with Jaheim and a couple of guys that we signed, just make them multifaceted of what they can do and what they can bring week to week to our offense.
Yeah, Marcus, and kind of a follow-up to that from the tight end perspective, just with the amount of guys that haven't been able to participate for you guys this spring, just kind of what has that been like just trying to, just get through a practice with just a couple of guys at that position, and I guess just kind of what have those challenges been, and how have you guys been able to, circumvent that?
At the time, a little scary, but it's like anything else. It's a blessing in disguise. Chad Terrell was playing receiver. He's a bigger guy. He's kind of an H-back body. We told him, hey, this is an opportunity for you to try to find a role in this team. And from day one, he's accepted it, and he keeps getting better and better. Is he going to go out there and block the D-gap? No, but can he do some of those things at the second level and run some routes and block on the perimeter? Yes, he's gotten better and better at that. And then, we got Big Wyatt come in and let him take his knee braces off and put some receiver gloves on. And he was in 7-on-7. I was just watching it, and he was running routes. I'm sitting there thinking Wyatt's freaking running routes out there, which is pretty cool. But I think that he's finding a role. I think he can help us to be in that D-gap blocker and still be functional enough that where you at least have to honor the fact that he can go out and maybe catch a ball. So those two guys, Kenyon's come back Was banged up a couple days, but he's come back and had a strong finish. And, he's really gaining the trust of Spencer of catching the football. He's had a couple really nice days, had a good scrimmage the other day. So I think, once we get everybody in that room that's going to be in that room on top of the guys that got a ton of reps this spring, I think it's only going to do it's going to do nothing other than help us moving forward.
Marcus, a little off topic, but I know you and Clayton worked together way back at Western Carolina. I guess I'm just curious, kind of what do you remember about working with him back then, and what it was like being together on the same staff at 25, 26 years old at that time?
I just gotten married. He was not married at the time, still dating Kelly, his wife, and we just hit it off from the start. I mean, we compete, but we can mess with each other, and we take it serious, but we don't take it serious. And I take full responsibility for getting him in the game of golf. We'd sprint out of the office at 5 o'clock, and we would drive 45 minutes to Maggie Valley, which was the only course close enough to Western Carolina that would let us on the course, and we'd play until dark. And the cool story is me and Clayton were playing golf when Tiger in 2000 and what was 16? 2009 when he chipped it on 16. So 2009, we're playing golf, meet my family at this little restaurant right outside of Maggie Valley, and we're watching the Masters, and we just sit down and Tiger chips in on 16, and we always talk about that memory. We were sitting together when we saw it and just jumping up and hugging each other, and so he's unbelievable. I think it's a blessing to be able to work for him and me to be able to work. He can tell me, hey, do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do it, not try to mess with him. I can ask him to give me certain looks, and we can just have a really good working relationship. So it's been really good.
What's your overall take on the offensive line and how they progressed this spring? And obviously you had some guys who are still working their way back from injuries or whatnot, but what's sort of your take on it?
We're still not there yet, but I don't think anybody's ever going to stand up here and say, yeah, we've arrived, we've gotten it. We've improved drastically. I think just the quarterback position getting better, and not just because Spencer's here, but Luke a year older, Colton a year older, being able to help him some of the pass protection calls, making sure that we're getting in the right calls, helping Eric out. Not being crazy back there and putting our O-line in bad situations with some of the calls that we were making last year. I love the tool. We challenged them. We've given them a skill set in pass protection of stuff that I learned when I was at Carolina under Pat Meyer and brought it here. And we've really emphasized that this offseason, and you can start to see it showing up, and I think it's helping us. I think from a run game standpoint, we've kind of got our runs now that we feel like we can block, and you can see them getting better and better and better each day. There's going to be random times where we miss a block and this guy loses his mind and oversets somebody. That's going to happen. But from a consistent standpoint, I think that they've made a huge jump. And I don't think we're ever going to go out there and just physically be better than everybody that we play. But I think they've played so long together and they've played so much football. I think the one thing that we do have is experience. And they're going to be able to play with a little bit faster because of the experience that they have. It's not always going to be clean. It's not always going to be mauling the opponent. But I think that we're going to be able to have some success because of our O-line and not having to overcome our O-line. We could talk Masters. We could talk the history of Masters. That would be great. Thank you all.